Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vida and I'm a licensed psychotherapist in California. And welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between introverts and extroverts and how to recharge, being one of them, or there's a mixture of ambivert. And we're going to talk about that too. So this is a really interesting topic for me. What I see a lot when people call me and we start doing therapy together is one of the big questions I'll ask in time is, how do you recharge? What does your time look like? How do you get that nervous system back to a parasympathetic state after working all week or being with kids or just having a stressful anything? It's really important to know how we recharge and how we recenter and ground. And I notice a lot of people don't know how, including myself years ago. I think also it stems from childhood, not to blame our parents, yet there is kind of a culture of go out and play, don't sit, do something productive with your time that you might have heard when you were a child. Well, what this does is not allow the natural body to figure out what or how it recharges. So it's interesting. So I have two kids. One is, I would say, an extrovert, and the other one is more of an introvert. Well, that introvert needs to be out in the garden and putter around on the weekends. Doesn't have to be the whole weekend, but I can really see her recharge differently. And we allow that to happen. She sits on a chair, she's daydreamy, she's thinking of stories in her head, and that's great. And I tell her to keep doing that. The other one wants to run, takes a puppy, runs around the yard, and she really loves to have deep conversations and talk off the cuff. And that's the extrovert side in a child. And we really try to encourage her to do that piece. So I think it's important as adults and children to figure out what does feel good for us. So let's get into how you know which one you are. Introverts recharge in solitude. So solitude, again, can mean gardening, reading a book, sitting in the sun. Doesn't have to be doing actively. And they feel grounded that way. Socialization will look different for an introvert. They will get drained easier in larger crowds. So if you ever come home on a Friday night and you just feel so tired, interesting to look. Maybe you're a little bit more of an introvert than you thought. Introverts process thoughts internally before speaking. So what does that mean? So if you're in a crowd or even with friends out to dinner and you think about what you want to say first, you could be an introvert. Introverts in general have smaller social groups. They have fewer yet more in-depth, deep friendships usually. So that also can be a clue. They thrive in low stimulation. So what just came to mind is Disneyland might be their nightmare. Too many people, too much energy around, but they love going for hikes or going for a walk or going to a garden center. So think about that next time you're trying to figure out, do you like going to the theme parks that are packed or crowded lunch spots, or do you prefer quieter settings that have less stimulation to hear and to see? Next, we're going to talk about our extroverts. Now, it's probably everything that you think about. They thrive in social interactions. Spending time alone for an introvert can feel very dull and isolating. They can feel more depressive down qualities if they don't have a social interaction or a lot of it. Extroverts are the ones at parties or in group settings that don't process their thoughts internally. So these are the off the cuff people. Just talk what's on their mind. So they just, whatever they're feeling, whatever comes up, they're not processing what they're going to talk internally first. They're just letting it all out. Extroverts have usually wide group interactions. They have a lot of friends. And some of them can be deep, so I don't want to say they're not. So yet they have their deep friendships and they have kind of outside circles of friends where they really thrive. Extroverts thrive in busy environments. So for them, a trip to Disneyland isn't such a big deal. They don't get as physically and mentally drained as an introvert would. So next, we have what's called an ambivert. So this is funny because we always say, oh, I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. And there is research now that about 50 to 75% of the population are both. So it makes it even more challenging to figure out what to do on a Friday or Saturday night, but I'm going to get to that as well. So ambiverts have a flexible social calendar. So if we think of an introvert and we just think Friday night's coming up, well, an introvert may want to stay home and read or be with a partner or one friend and watch a movie. An extrovert is ready to go out, right? Ready to make plans, call in people. And then the ambivert will make up their minds maybe on a Thursday. And sometimes they're going to say, yep, I'm definitely coming. I want to be social, or no, I want to be at home with my book or my animals or my partner, and that's it. So they have a very flexible social calendar interaction type of person. What's interesting about being an ambivert is people see you differently. So I've had people meet me and go, oh, you're an extrovert. I'm not. I can be both. As I get to know myself better through shifting of nervous system, meditation, really feeling how tired I am in the moment, I've actually become more of an introvert. So it's really interesting because people will see you in different lights, or they can say someone, wow, you must be an introvert. And they go, no, I went dancing last Friday night with a whole group of friends and I had a blast. So that's also a sign of the feedback you get. And ambiverts will be able to play both sides of the field. Ambiverts also have a balanced communication pattern. So when we said introverts think about their thought process before they speak, and extroverts are more like fast thinkers. They just kind of say what's on their mind. Ambiverts can do both. So at a party where they're feeling it and they're in it, they're talking off the cuff as well. And sometimes when they're feeling more quiet but want to be social, they could take on the more internal listening role in a group setting. So they can do both. Ambiverts really have a it depends mindset. Someone calls you, hey, we're going out Friday night and it's Monday. Hey, it depends on how my work week is going, how busy I am, or how the kids were this week. They really can take space to take time to figure out how they're going to feel on any given night. So, but they do take the time to figure out what feels good once the time is coming up. So they are the big, it depends type of people. Depends how I feel. And that's good. They're listening to their body and to their nervous system and to what makes them feel grounded at the end of the week. Ambiverts can feel bored, if they have too much time on their hands alone. They're very much in the middle people. They love to go out maybe on a Friday night, and they know that they want and need to stay home and be quiet, maybe on a Saturday or all day, puttering around the house, doing artwork, gardening, taking a hike. So they really have a balance of what feels good for them and figuring that piece out. So this is the challenge, right? Is really figuring out where you lie on the spectrum here. And it is a spectrum. It's introverts, extroverts, and then ambiverts somewhere, right? And I do think it's really important for mental health and physical health, again, going back to that nervous system and really figuring out how you feel calm and grounded. That is not something we're all taught as little kids, most of us, I should say. And it is really important to do that. It really helps us function more clearly. It helps with anxiety, depression, connection. So I encourage everyone to just kind of make a list of what feels good. And it could be ambivert, which is great. The thing is, you got to figure out and you got to feel open to really examining how you're feeling about being alone or being with people on any given night. So these are all great things to be. I know a lot of extroverts that still need to recharge or go for a walk on that Sunday morning, and then they can go out again to a market and be with people. But really listening to your body and your needs and your internal structure is really important for feeling grounded in life. I'm probably going to do another video about this because I feel passionate about it. But wishing you all a very peaceful, grounded day. And thanks for watching.